Okay, been working on this a little bit. I have my substrate in there. I made it thicker in the back than in the front. And I don't have much for wood. I have 3 pieces, but this tank is really tall, so I may end up getting another one. That filter back there, I don't know if I'm going to keep it in there, but I want to leave it in there so that when I get this full, I can start running it and seeding it. I did put a bubbler in to keep things moving. I'm using RO water out of my shop, and I can only do about 4 buckets at a time, and I did my 4 buckets. So once, probably tomorrow or maybe in the morning, I can do 4 more buckets and keep working my way up. I'll probably order some planting tongs because I think I'm going to need it to do the plants. But I do have it in there. It looks really good, and I'm just going to keep moving forward on it. Okay, I'm continuing to work on my 150 tall. I am filling this with RODI water, and it's in the shop, and I can basically do 4 buckets at a time, and then it has to refill. I could have a bigger container, but I don't have one. So I'm slowly doing that. All I'm doing is pumping it from there into here. It is fairly cool when it goes in. I do have the heater back in there working. The water's a little cloudy, and that's from the Flourite substrate. So once I get this full, my filter did arrive. So I will add a little bit to this on the filter, and we'll just keep moving forward with this thing. So I think it's going to be very impressive when it's done. Okay, for this system here, I'm getting close to the water that I need in there. One more batch will do it. I'm putting all RODI water in it. It's very impressive. It's a 150 tall. And for filtration, I have a sponge filter in there, a large one. It's a little cloudy because of the Flourite on the bottom. I don't know if I'm going to leave that sponge filter in there or not. It's large. It's actually made for it to be much bigger than that. I might replace it. So what I did was I bought me a JBJ canister filter, and it's actually the EFU 35. It's fairly large. It's about the size of a 5-gallon bucket. It moves 250 gallons an hour. It's rated for a tank of 150 gallons, which is what this is. Some of them that are rated for 150 gallons move twice that much water. I don't want to move that much water, so this works out just about right. I have not set it up yet, but I think what I'm going to do is take the biomedia, the ceramic balls, and I'm going to throw them in that hang on the back filter from this tank here to seed it. Yeah, I think that'll work out well. I can then transfer it back into here once it's seeded and once I get fish. Now, my shop is fairly cool, so the water from the RODI unit goes in a container, and it's pretty cold in there. So right now I added another heater to that. I have 2 large heaters in there trying to get this up to temp. I do need to get another piece of polycarbonate for the top, and it's going to be a really neat project to do this. So what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to go ahead and get this set up. It actually is a spray bar, which I think would be the way to go. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on here, but I will probably just put some regular floss in it in order to just mechanically filter that water so that I can get rid of those particulates and clear it up. It'll be a while before I put fish in here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I have about 5 of these black angels, and I think I'm going to throw them in there for now just to get the system going. Eventually, I've never had Discus before, and that is going to be what this is. It's going to be a planted Discus tank. I still need to find a place to fill my CO2. I'm going to do CO2 injection. I have my regulator bought. So it's kind of a big project. It's taking some time, and there are quite a bit of pieces to this, but I'm going to get this set up so that I can start cleaning up that water and get it crystal clear. So I'll add more to this later. So what I have done, I don't have all the lights on this yet. I have a lot of dust in here from the Flourite on the bottom, and I have it hooked up. It's typical canister filter style, but it does have that little red switch on there, and you can shut the UV on and off as you please. Fill it about 95% up, pump the water out, and you're good to go. The thing I like about this one is you have the option of a spray bar. So I went ahead and hooked the spray bar, and that'll break that surface tension. So, and I can adjust that up if I need to once this thing gets completely full. I'm a little low on water yet. And right there is the intake. comes up over into the filter, and then this is where it comes back out of. So hopefully this will polish this water and get rid of this cloudiness in here, and I'm sure it probably will. I'm real happy with it. I did check to make sure that there are no leaks. There are not. This thing lights up a lot more once you get all the lights on. I only have one of them on. I do have 4 lights purchased for this. They are plant lights. So I did get this on here, and I will continue to check for leaks, make sure it's not leaking around these fittings, which it shouldn't, and it isn't. It runs extremely quiet, and I'm very pleased with it so far. So that's what this video is for filtration. I'm also going to continue probably to keep a bubble, one of these sponge filters in there. I don't think I'm going to use this one. I think I'm going to take it out and put a smaller one in. This one is way too big for this tank, and it just makes it look bad. So I'm going to put a smaller one in there. It'll probably be at least 6 months before I actually put Discus in it. I do have a CO2 regulator and bubble counter. I don't have a bottle yet, and I can't find a place to fill around here since I live in the middle of nowhere. So hopefully I can CO2 this also. So it does have more lights than what's on right now. I just have one light out of 4. I don't want to build any algae. So anyway, it's coming along. It's just going to take some time, but I did get my filter hooked up today. Okay, I went ahead and used a planting substrate in here. It was pretty cloudy at first, but I probably should have rinsed it a little more, but it eventually did clear up. I think it looks pretty good. And this is the 150 tall with the stand, everything, and I basically have it all planted. I don't know if I'll add anything more than this. One thing that I did do was I ordered those Malaysian driftwood. I also ordered that one and got those put in. I had these Anubias around, so that one I moved from another aquarium. That large one I moved from another aquarium. And all of these red cryptocorns were also in another aquarium that I thinned those out a little bit and put those in there across the back. I did purchase from Aquarium Co-op, first time I ever bought from them. Shipping was really fast, plants are great, highly recommend it. I bought 2 wisterias, which would be that one there, and they have opened up nice. They look good now. And one there. I ordered 3 jungle valves, and that's one right there. There's another one tucked in behind those, and I went ahead and ordered another one. Get this thing to focus again. And I went ahead and put another one back in that corner. The other thing that I bought was some Amazon swords. There's 2 back there, and there's one back here. So that's what I have for plants in it. I would still like to do some CO2, but I'm still trying to figure out where to get the bottle around here, or where I can fill it and such. I have in there for fish, I have a small school of, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9 neon tetras, which look really, really good in there. And someplace in here, I have a little gold angel. And it blends in real well. He's doing really good. I'm not sure where he's at right now. So anyway, this is how my large tank turned out. And the plants have a long ways to grow. It is tall, so being 31 inches tall, I bought some planting forceps and planting kit type thing tools, because otherwise it's just too deep. It's really hard to reach the bottom. I kind of wished I'd have put a little more of the substrate in. It's pretty thin here in the front, and I might end up adding some later, but I'm going to rinse it really well when I do it. I did run a heater in this because I want to run this at about 80 to 82, because eventually it's going to be Discus down the road a few months. This is all RODI water, and what I have done, and let me turn on the light in the room, is what I have done is I purchased this container at the hardware store. It holds 32 gallons of water, and I have air going into it to keep it circulating. I also have a heater in there, and that water is coming out of my RODI at a pH of 6. So that's going to be my water change and my top off water for this system here. And I actually bring that water from the shop for my RODI unit into here, and I just want to make sure that this one is always full and the one in the shop is always full. And so all I have to do is take a small power head, which I have, throw it in the bottom of that, run a hose up into the big tank, and that's how I will refill this when I do a water change. When I do a water change, I siphon out with this, and that goes, as I pointed out before, it goes through the wall and into the shop sink. So I throw that in there, and I'm planning on doing about a 20 to 25% water change every week. So I will take that water out of there, pump it from here. Everything's already up to temp, and as long as I stay on top of it, I should be good. So I think it turned out pretty good. The stand looks nice. I am having a curtain made. My mom is making me a curtain for that closet to close that up so you don't see that. And I think it's going to be really impressive once I get the Discus in there. But I want the plants to be taller. And those jungle valves will get tall. I don't know that anything will reach 31 inches, but you know, I will get some height out of some of these. I'm going to be checking on CO2 injection and stuff. And as I pointed out before, that is what I am using for filtration, is a JBJ reaction full UV. And I forget which number it is, but it is rated for a 150 gallon tank. It moves about 265 gallons an hour, which is not a lot, and I didn't want to move a lot. And the spray bar is across the top, so it circulates water very, very well. So anyway, that is how this tank has progressed, and I think it's, you know, I think it's looking pretty good. I'll go ahead and post this probably this Saturday morning. So, and I'll add more to this when I pick up some more fish to put in this tank.